What up? Wade here. Welcome back to the Wade Alter Show. So today what I want to talk about is the concept of patience and how important it is to not only be patient, but I'm going to tell you how to get there, because you might hear this, oh, dude, chill, relax. It's going to take you 2 years. It's going to take you 3 years to be successful. Back when I was a dating coach, we tell guys it's a 4-year commitment. This is almost like going to college again to learn how to develop social skills and be confident to go up, approach that strange girl and be able to kind of, convey yourself in a great way. And you hear things in business too. I call it the 3-year slog. Gary Vaynerchuk says, eat shit for 24 months to eat caviar for the rest of your life. Either way, it's going to take a good 2 to 3 years, which when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the weeds, when you're in the battle zone, that seems like forever. But after it's over, especially maybe it's because I'm getting older. I'm 36 now. A year goes by so fast. A month goes by crazy fast. A week, it's like a blink of the eye. And something I've noticed a lot, whether it's with clients or, I did a lot of strategy sessions recently. So I talked to a lot of people that were just starting off in business. And I could just sense this lack of patience. And what I've noticed over the last 6 months is seeing this again and again, this sort of theme here, as well as within myself, is that patience, what it really comes down to, the opposite side of the same coin, the very same coin, is self-trust. And so I believe the reason most people aren't patient, waiting for their success, is because they don't believe what they're going to achieve is possible. They don't have the self-trust to just sit back, relax, enjoy the journey and go, you know what? As long as every day I'm a little bit better, I'm going to get there. I have 100% confidence in myself and I can achieve anything if I put in enough time, if I focus on it and work hard enough. People don't have that because instead what they have are these little doubts that kick in that go, am I ever going to get there? Am I good enough? Am I really ever going to achieve this? There's still times that those doubts pop up into my head. That's the old pattern that I have. I was really kind of trained to have pretty poor money mindsets. And so that seemed like such a challenge for me. But the thing that I've been able to rely on again and again is the success that I've had in other areas. And so for me, always looking back, the success that I gained with my dating life, getting to the point that I was able to teach it, teaching men around the world in over 40 countries, how to approach, build confidence, believe they're worthy, just that self-esteem, extreme self-esteem to be able to attract the women out of their dreams. It's amazing when you see a guy who has never done an approach before and you teach him how to do it, you take him out, he does it, it goes well. It literally is like a new superpower. It's transformational. And so seeing that enough times, especially that, I feel that there's nothing closer to you than, it's Maslow's hierarchy. A big one of those is, survival and then replication. And so if you're able to realize that dating is a skill set, I'm not dealt the cards that I thought I was dealt in life, it's such an empowering experience that you truly do believe that anything is possible. And so there were times when I was building my business where I was hitting my head against the wall, where I felt like I was making no progress at all, where I'd be spending months and months creating a website or building a membership area or trying a new sales funnel or marketing advice and learning copywriting, and it seems like nothing is changing. There's no more revenue coming in. There's no more profit. It's just more is going out than coming in. And there's times when that happens, when you're in the thick of that, the battle zone, that you go, is this ever going to happen? Is it really possible? Maybe it's just there's something wrong with me. Am I cut from a different cloth? But what I was able to rely on was having those same thoughts and being able to plow through them and really just investing the time, the focus, the energy to master my dating life. The same thing happens in business. And I've seen it again and again and again with my clients, helping them develop that confidence. Whenever I see impatience, whenever I see that like unhealthy sense of urgency, that's a time for us to flip the script, flip to the other side of the coin and say, okay, how can we build some confidence here? And so you might say to me, okay, you know what, Wade, I've never been great at anything. I didn't master my dating life. That's what I'm working on right now, maybe as you're listening into this. It doesn't matter what the area is. They're all skills to be mastered. And at the end of the day, all it comes down to is putting in the time. Yes, we all come from different experiences. We all have different resources when we come into life. Our parents might hand us certain beliefs that might be more beneficial for having high self-esteem or believing that you're worthy of starting a business or entrepreneurial lifestyle. Taking risks is easier for some people than others. But there's a reason that the vast majority of successful people came from nothing. And it just came down to putting in the time. A lot of it came from being in a bad place that really they're running away from that. But if you look at what's different between them and you, it really only comes down to the time that you put in. And so I don't care what level of success you currently have. you've mastered certain things in your life. Even to the point of just walking. You learned how to walk. Look at a little 1-year-old, 2-year-old. You can see them getting frustrated. You can see them falling down and getting angry, but they don't just lay there in their sorrows and go, I guess I was just never meant to walk. No, they get back up because the environment says, hey, everyone else is walking. They don't take it personally. They don't identify with it. They realize, okay, if everyone else is doing this, I must be able to do this too. And you're too. You're not even thinking this consciously. It's just sort of instinctual. And I want you to have that same mindset in whatever you're trying to be successful at. I don't care if it's starting a business. I don't care if it's going from 6 figures to 7 figures. I don't care if it's pivoting into a new industry. I don't care if it's getting your first client. I don't care if it's approaching a girl. I don't care if it's asking her to be your wife. Each of these things, there's a process. It's a skill set to develop. And it's not that you're cut from a different cloth. It's not that you're just not good enough as a person. It's not about your socioeconomic background. It's just a matter of going, do I want this bad enough? Am I willing to put in the effort? And then enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, and every day celebrating. As long as I'm 1% better than I was the day before, that's all that matters. And it's been interesting moving out to LA with my girlfriend. And I've done this a few times now where I've moved to a new city, had to build a social circle. For her, it's really her first time. And we were talking a lot about this, about how she constantly felt like, man, I'm just always on. I can never relax and I'm so used to having friends and being able to sit back. And I just feel like it's just been so stressful. On top of that, learning all these sort of new habits, like developing our old habits of getting the smoothies in the morning, figure out when we're doing laundry, and just kind of building all that stuff from scratch again. On top of buying new furniture and figuring out the office space, there's just so much bandwidth being taken up there that she's like, when is it going to be fun? When is it out here? I came out here because I thought the Cali life, it was going to be fun. And what I said was, and without trying to fall into coaching mode too much, I used a little story. I used a metaphor to kind of show her and put things into perspective. What I said, it's kind of like going to the gym if you've never gone before, or you've taken like a 6-month or a year break or something like that. For me, at one point, I hurt my back and I just kept re-injuring it. So after a while, I just stopped going. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let my body completely recover. But the other part is I'd completely lost momentum. And then when I went back into the gym, it was not fun. I'd see other guys lifting weight that I could lift twice that. And I'd be like, oh, they think they're hot shit. I could fucking do that shit, but I can't right now because of my back. And that's, like I said, a few times me re-injuring it because I fell into that. But what I had to do was really take a step back and go, okay, it's all about progress. I'm not in a state of momentum yet. When you got that enthusiasm, when you're feeling that excitement, that's because you're seeing the growth. You're on that upward spiral. But when you're starting off, when you're putting in the slog, the 3-year slog in business, when you're going out and approaching and getting rejection after rejection, you're not in the upward spiral yet. But once you start seeing results and it starts getting exciting, you start building confidence, and that positive feedback loop leads to more excitement, more confidence, and then you do even better, and then you're even more confident, and you do even better, and you're more confident. That only comes when you put your nose to the grindstone and start building momentum and just put your head down and go, okay, as long as every day is a little bit better than the day before, as long as every day is a little bit better than the day before, and realizing you have the strategies inside. You've been successful in your life before. On the most basic level, like I said, you can walk, but I'm sure you've mastered something, whether it's playing the piano, whether it's playing the guitar, whether it's playing a video game, whether it's learning math, whether it's learning how to spell properly. There's a path to mastery that you went on there. And at the time, everyone has something that is easy for them. Just think about when those things happen. What is the way that you talk to yourself? What is the way that you think about it internally? What is the voice? What is the tonality? I hear a lot of times when I ask people that related to what's the voice inside when it comes to business, or you're about to do a sales call if they don't have a lot of success. And they're like, oh man, I hope this time it goes well. Or like, oh, what if it all goes to shit? What will I do if they reject me? Or, oh, I can't, the objections, this is horrible. If you had those thoughts going on in your head, you're probably not going to be that confident on the phone. So instead, just change up the tonality. Think back to something you're good at. Let's say it's a video game. You're playing Call of Duty and you're about to play with your friends and you're like, oh shit, I'm going to fuck this guy up. That tonality, be like, think about that on the sales call, right? Oh shit, I'm going to fuck this sales guy. Like, whatever language works for you to feel pumped, to feel excited, to feel stoked. You want to lean on the strategies that have worked for you in the past in other areas, transmute them into this area. And most importantly, you can't compare yourself to others. And so I was recently in Canada. I had a fishing trip. I went there with my dad. I was like flying to this beautiful lake. I think I've talked about it on a previous podcast. But it was amazing. The best part of the whole thing was we drove up to Northern Ontario. I flew in, then drove for 12 hours. And then we got on a little seaplane, another 100 miles north of there, where there's absolutely no cell phone towers. And all we had was a satellite phone in case of emergency. And so I had 10 days without any Wi-Fi, any data, any social media. The same thing like when I went to Burning Man last year. I came back and I could feel that sense of urgency starting to kick back in. And I realized what it came from is social media. I realized what it came from was, I'm always modeling other people. I'm always seeing how other people are building their businesses. And I've got a lot of successful friends, and most of them are doing some cool shit. And so even though I just came back from this epic fly-in trip with my dad and really a great male bonding experience, I started feeling that, I'm not off in Saint-Tropez or Monaco right now, or damn it, I wish I was in Yacht Week in Croatia. Or damn it, I wish I was eating sushi in Tokyo like this other guy. Or oh my God, this guy just had a huge product launch and it's going so well. That just leads to that extreme sense of urgency again. And what I like to call the highlight reel, where you're comparing your own normal mundane life to everyone else's just Instagram highlights and the best moments. And the subconscious, it just can't deal with that. So the most important thing is to really just prevent it, mitigate it. For me, I actually came back and I noticed it so palpably that I deleted the Facebook bookmark on my browser. And it's amazing how much more relaxed I feel related to that. But then on top of that, just, trying to remove those triggers of comparing yourself to others. The other side of this is when those doubts kick in, of you see somebody else getting there faster and you think, maybe I am different. What did I do wrong? Is the universe just stacking the cards against me? Realize those beliefs, they don't serve you. They don't help in any way. So instead, interrupt the pattern, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what's the best thing for me to do right now? A lot of times, the reason those people are more successful, it comes down to focus. It comes down to where are you putting your focus? And how could you create more time to focus on the thing that you want to be successful at? The power of immersion. I remember back when I was just going out 6 nights a week and just teaching it and thinking about dating and approaching girls and writing in my journal and going, okay, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? How did I get better? All of a sudden I started dreaming about it and I'd rerun the nights in my mind. My subconscious is just marinating on it. And that's what led to, I should have done that or should have done that. The neurons, the interneural pathways, the plasticity is integrating things and connecting things. And that's what leads to just 10x growth or 100x growth in these areas. It's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in the gym. It's the same thing in whatever you want to do. Realize that the more focus you can put on something, the better. And so if there's things that are taking away your bandwidth, if maybe you're focusing on one too many things, if you got a toxic relationship that you really need to deal with, if you got haters, people that are holding you back that you're worried about, let's say on Facebook, you're like, I want to post about my business on Facebook, but what about these people? Remove them as friends. Don't let those people hold you back. Don't let your friends from middle school that you're worried about, announcing this new business hold you back from taking the next step. And instead of comparing yourself and your growth to people that are getting there faster, instead ask yourself, what are they focusing on? Because a lot of times it's just about that micro focus. It's about nuance focus of not just focusing on business. Maybe it's focusing on sales. And then maybe it's focusing on what type of sales. Maybe it's focusing on the system of your sales process. Maybe it's just focusing on the script. Maybe it's focusing on persuasion. Maybe it's focused on pricing or positioning. Are the right people being qualified? What is going on in my processes? You get that little micro focus on the little things instead of being pulled off on, all of a sudden I'm worried about this other stuff. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do this, or I'm worried about that, my rent and the debt that I have, or all these other things. That's all pulling you off of focus. But we all have the same amount of time in a day. And it all just comes down to priorities and where you choose to put your focus and ultimately what you choose to be successful at. And so realize that. It's a choice. It's not about who you are as a person. It's not that you're cut from a different cloth. I truly believe that anyone can achieve anything. It's just a matter of taking the time and being patient, trusting yourself. As long as every day you're a little bit further along, and that doesn't mean you might have, more money in the bank account or, the girlfriend's there that wasn't there yesterday. But as long as you're learning every day, you're getting 1% closer. And 1% times 1% times 1%, those things add up to huge changes in just a few short years. And like I said, the years go by fast as you get older. So take your time and enjoy the journey. As always, enjoy.